Hi, how you doing? This is Kim Reads Urantia. Glad you're here with me today. And today we're gonna read from the Urantia book, but we're gonna read from Light the Flame by Andrew Harvey. And today we have a Native American prayer. A Native American prayer. How appropriate is this today? Today's a very important day for my Native American community, for interacting with my Native American community, spiritual community. Okay, so I'm going to read this to you. I'm before I'm off to Sweat Lodge, and yeah. Okay, we gather our minds together to send greetings and thanks to all the animal life in the world. They have many things to teach us as people. We see them near our homes and in the deep forests. We are so glad they are still here, and we hope that it will always be so. Now our minds are one. That's Native American prayer. Our minds are one together with animals, animal kingdom. Because we need to care for and nourish our younger brothers. We need to care for and nourish them. And understand their needs, because we depend on them. We depend on each other, and sure, we hunt and fish, but we take, but we give too. It's got to be in balance, or it doesn't work. It falls apart. It's starting to fall apart now. So okay, we're going to leave that there. We're going to talk about paper 16, the 7 master spirits. Section 7, morals, virtue, and personality. Intelligence alone cannot explain the moral nature. Morality or virtue is indigenous to human personality. Yep, today I'm really down with this word indigenous today. Okay, I'm feeling it. Moral intuition, the realization of duty, is a component of human mind endowment and is associated with the other inalienables of human nature, scientific curiosity, and spiritual insight. Man's mentality far transcends that of his animal cousins. Here we're talking about our animal cousins. But in his moral and religious natures that especially distinguish him from the animal world. Okay? It is his moral and religious natures. So we have spiritual natures that transcend our animal brothers, but these things give us increased responsibility. We are stewards of our resources here. We're not meant to be like, masters and dominate everything. We're stewards. We're caretakers of the earth and the animals. We are different from the animals. We are above them. That doesn't that doesn't make it okay for us to abuse this position. Okay. The selective response of an animal is limited to the motor level of behavior. The supposed insight of the higher animals is on a motor level and usually appears only after the experience of motor trial and error. Man is able to exercise scientific, moral, and spiritual insight prior to all exploration or experimentation. Only a personality can know what it is doing before it does it. Only personalities possess insight in advance of experience. A personality can look before it leaps and can therefore learn from looking as well as from leaping. A non-personal animal ordinarily learns only by leaping. So we can look at and we can learn from the mistakes of our elders if we choose to. We can look at what's gone before us. That's why otherwise there'd be no advance of generations. Yeah. As a result of experience, an animal becomes able to examine the different ways of attaining a goal and to select an approach based on accumulated experience. But a personality can also examine the goal itself and pass judgment on its worthwhileness, its value. Intelligence alone can discriminate as to the best means of attaining indiscriminate ends. But a moral being possesses an insight which enables him to discriminate between ends as well as between means. Okay, and a moral being, in choosing virtue, is nonetheless intelligent. He knows what he is doing, why he is doing it, where he is going, and how he will get there. So as moral beings, we are capable of selecting a long-term higher goal that will maybe cause us like some suffering in the interim, but will be in the long term conducive to growth and happiness for all beings, not just myself. Amoral beings are not capable. They see short-term gain only. And for myself only, for self. And they're not concerned with the community around them. When man fails to discriminate the ends of his mortal striving, he finds himself functioning on the animal level of existence. So this discrimination of the ends, I'm interpreting that about as to thinking long term. Think about long term rather than short term. Yeah. So somebody who discriminates between the means wants to find the easiest, softest way. We want to find the easiest way to go about things. We don't want to make it difficult. I'm not going to try anything hard. I'm just going to, just kind of get what I can and run. Survival. And, okay. Okay. When a man fails to discriminate the ends of his mortal striving, he finds himself functioning on the animal level of existence. He has failed to avail himself of the superior advantages of that material acumen, moral discrimination, and spiritual insight, which are an integral part of his cosmic mind endowment as a personal being. Virtue is righteousness, conformity with the cosmos. To name virtues is not to define them, but to live them is to know them. Virtue is not mere knowledge nor yet wisdom, but rather the reality of progressive experience and the attainment of ascending levels of cosmic achievement. In the day-to-day, day-by-day life of mortal man, virtue is realized by the consistent choosing of good rather than evil, and such choosing ability is evidence of the possession of a moral nature. Man's choosing between good and evil is influenced not only by the keenness of his moral nature, but also by such influences as ignorance, immaturity, and delusion. A sense of proportion is also concerned in the exercise of virtue, because evil may be perpetrated when the lesser is chosen in place of the greater as a result of distortion or deception. So sometimes we're forced to choose the lesser evil. The art of relative estimation or comparative measurement enters into the practice of the virtues of the moral realm. Okay, so that's this discernment piece that I'm so on about, is like we have to be able to tell and order our objectives and our priorities and see that clearly. Right now, most people out there, they don't see it ever. It's because of this information overload. There's so much information out there, and nobody knows what to do with it and how it fits in. So, we're talking about how beneficial all this information is, but it's been just really overwhelming to the human character and moral development, I feel, because we don't know how to prioritize this information. We don't know what's important and what's not. And so much attention has been given to things, ideas that are flat out ridiculous. And little attention has been given to things that are paramount, things that are killing us. So yeah, so it's huge process of getting this stuff right, putting things in order, in perspective, is really the task of this age. It really is the task of this age. So okay. Yeah, I don't know. Let's keep going. Man's moral nature would be impotent without the art of measurement. The discrimination embodied in his ability to scrutinize meanings. Likewise, would moral choosing be futile without that cosmic insight which yields the consciousness of spiritual values. Okay. From the standpoint of intelligence, man ascends to the level of a moral being because he is endowed with personality. Okay. And personality is a gift from our Father. Morality can never be advanced by law or by force. It is a personal and free will matter and must be disseminated by the contagion of the contact of morally fragrant persons with those who are less morally responsive, but who are also in some measure desirous of doing the Father's will. So that's it. So if you, one thing I've given myself permission this year I was asked this at Jesus' birthday party. Okay, what was your spiritual growth for the year? And I said, well, I've given myself permission to recognize um, those that are spiritually inferior to me. And that sounds like, oh my God, you're such a snob. You know what I mean? But this great error, I think that liberal America has made everything equal. So somebody ranting about how we never landed on the moon, that was a Hollywood stunt and all of this and fake news, and okay, that's treated on an equal level as somebody who has somebody ranting about something on the internet is treated on a par with somebody who has researched an issue, and that's false equivalence. So I've given myself permission to recognize this instead of I'm not going to argue with people, but what is true is that because if I recognize that I have a superior moral intelligence than somebody else, that gives me a higher responsibility to love them. I have to love them like a mother loves a child instead of, the equal love between friends equals carries much less responsibility for me. So if it's somebody who is that, I have to give them, peace of mind so they can look at, or give them resources that they can maybe challenge those more immature points of view. I can't come and dictatorially correct them, and it would only add fuel to their whatever they're doing if I say, well, you're wrong about that because this, and I know this, and okay, that's not the way of love. Okay, that's not how we foster the growth of our younger brothers and sisters. Okay, we tell them, I appreciate where you're coming from. I see that you're concerned about this issue, and I want to show you what another way to think about it. So check out this program or this book or this, and I share a lot of the same concerns these people share. But we have to do this in love, right? Okay. Yeah. Man's moral nature would be impotent without the art of measurement, the discrimination embodied in his ability to scrutinize meanings. Likewise, would moral choosing be futile without that cosmic insight which yields moral consciousness or of spiritual values. From the standpoint of intelligence, man ascends to the level of a moral being. Yeah, because he's okay. I already read that. Okay, morality can never be advanced by law or by force. So yeah, just like I said, you can't tell morally inferior people or spiritually inferior people that you're fucked up. You can't. I'm sorry. I never swear on this channel. I don't do that. That, oh, you're a mess. You're a hot mess. You need to straighten it out. It's not a good way. We give them reasons to advance forward. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay. Morality can never be advanced by law or by force. It is a personal and free will matter and must be disseminated by the contagion of the contact of morally fragrant persons with those who are less morally. Yeah, I already read this too. Morally, but who are also in the same measure desirous. Okay. Moral acts are those human performances which are characterized by the highest intelligence, directed by selective discrimination in the choice of superior ends as well as in the selection of moral means to attain these ends. Such conduct is virtuous. Supreme virtue, then, is wholeheartedly to choose to do the will of the Father in heaven. Excellent. Okay. All right. That's it. That's it for today. Love talking with you. Okay. Have a really great Saturday. Okay.